In this part we will learn about the division of the integers, its properties, and what all things it is applicable for the properties. Now first, when we are dividing the integer, which integer? They are the negative and the positive integer. Then what we have to do and what the result can come. Now first of all, we all know that the division is the inverse of multiplication. So when a negative integer is asked to divide with the positive integer, at that moment first you have to divide the two given numbers and then put the minus sign to the answer. For example, if it is asked to divide the 64 divided by minus 8, then 64 divided by 8 is, we all know it is 8, and we have to put the negative sign over there. Now if it is asked to divide the two negative integers, clear? So at that moment we have to first divide the given numbers and then put the positive sign. It means we can say that when we are dividing the two negative integers, the answer will always be a positive integer. Let's have a look on the example. If it is asked to divide minus 10 with minus 2, then the answer will be 5, because 10 divided by 2 is 5 and minus minus will become plus over here, so the answer is the positive 5. Coming at the properties of the division, in this we all have been completely familiar with the words closure, commutative, division by zero, or identity or associative property. Now let's have a look that what all things are applicable for the division. Now if the integers like p, q and r are given, so we will solve in that example. The closure, first is the closure property. In this closure property, if it is asked to divide the p by q, clear? So the answer which we get should be a integer, okay? And if it is not a integer, then it will then we can say that the divisions are not closed under integer. Coming at the commutative property, we all know that we are changing the order, clear? That is p by q or q by p. When we are doing this, we should get the same answer at the end, like 10 divided by 5 is 2, but when we are dividing 5 with the 10, the answer is coming minus 2. So the answer is not same. So we can say that division are not a commutative for integer. Coming at the division by 0, we all know that when we divide anything with a 0, the answer becomes complicated. First of all, if it is asked to divide p by 0, the answer is not defined. It means we cannot divide anything with 0, but we can divide 0 with anything. The answer will be 0, like 0 divided by 10 is 0. So we can say that the answer is not a integer, so they are division by 0 is also not applicable. Coming at the division identity, identity means what? We have to get the same answer at the end. So for getting the same answer, we always have to divide or multiply with the 1. Here we are talking about the division, so we will divide it with the 1. The answer is the same it is. So when we are dividing the 10 by 1, the answer will be 10. So we can say that the division identity is applicable for division. Coming at the last property, that is associative property, it means we have to group the given data in the different manner. For example, if it is asked to divide p by q, then divide it by r, or divide p with q and q divided by r. So the answer should always be same. But here you can see very clearly that when we are dividing this integer, that is minus 16 divided by 4, the whole divided by minus 2, and 16 divided by 4 divided by 2, the answer which we are getting is not same, clear? So we can, over here we can clearly say that divisions are not associative for the integers. So here we have completed the explanation of chapter 1. Now in the next part, that is in part 11, we will discuss that. In the first looking at the question number A, that is minus 30 divided by 10, we have seen that first we have to just divide the sums, that is 30 divided by 10 will be 3, and then putting the minus sign. So answer is minus 3. Coming at the D, the same type of question it is there, that we have to divide minus 49 divided by 49. So dividing 49 divided by 49, the answer will be 1, and then putting the negative sign. So the answer will be minus 1. Coming at the G, we have to divide minus 31 with minus 31 divided by minus 1. So looking at its solution, first of all, minus 30 divided by minus 1 will be minus 31 itself, clear? So it is coming minus 31. Now we have to divide minus 31 with minus 31, so the minus minus will become plus. and 31 when we are dividing 31 with 31, the answer will be 1. So answer is positive 1. Coming at the question number 2, here it is asked us to verify. Now I have already cleared that whenever it is asked to verify, at that moment we have to always go for the LHS equal to RHS type of rule. Now what we have to verify over here, that A divided by A plus C will be not equal to A divided by B plus A divided by C. Now from where this has been come, it is first of all A divided by B, then putting the positive sign and then dividing A with the C. So the A with C. Now the value of A, B and C are given. You have to verify. Now first of all we will go for the LHS, that is left hand side. 12 divided by 4 minus 4 plus 2. So minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2. 12 divided by minus 2 will be 6, and then putting the negative sign, so minus 6 is the answer. Coming at the RHS, 12 divided by minus 4 will be minus 3, then 12 divided by 2 will be 6. Now minus 3 plus 6 will be 3. So here the LHS and the RHS answers are not matching. That's why the LHS is not equal to RHS, and hence it is been verified. Coming at the question number 3, it is asked to fill in the blanks in order to get the given answers. Now first of all, the A question, if we have to divide 369 with something in order to get 369, the same answer we have to get, so we will divide it by 1. Coming at the question number F, that we have to divide something with with 48 in order to get minus 1, so we will divide it with the minus 48. Clear? Coming at the question number 4, they are asking us to find the 5 pair of integers to satisfy this condition, that is A divided by B equal to minus 3. Now we have to put some integers in order to get the minus 3. So it is very simple. Minus 6 divided by 2 will be minus 3. Minus 9 divided by 3 will be minus 3. In question number 5, it is said that in the noon, the temperature of a room was 10 degree above 0. We all know it is positive, so it will be above 0. Now this temperature was getting decreased 2 degree every hour until midnight. Clear? And we have to find out that at what time it will take a temperature to reach 8 degrees Celsius below 0. It means the temperature will be minus 8. Now what will be the temperature of that midnight also we have to find. Now as per the question, it is very clear from this diagram that it was 10 degree at the noon and it has been decreasing every 2 degree every hour. So we have to jump 2 degrees. Clear? And we have to reach up to minus 8 in order to get 8 degree below 0. Now let's have a solution. That temperature decreases 1 degree in every half hour, or you can take 2 degree in every 1 hour. Clear? So if it is getting decreased to 18 degree, total how many degrees are there? Minus 10 minus 8. So answer will be minus 18. Clear? So it is getting decreased to 18, so it will take 9 hours. Now we have to take out the time. So it was 12 noon in the noon time and 9 hours plus, so it is 21 hours. Now 21 hours means 9 p.m. So it will be 9 p.m. when the temperature will be 8 degree below 0. Coming at the question number 6, it is said that again in a class test there is plus 3 marks for every correct answer and minus 2 marks for every incorrect answer, and no marks for not attempting. Now in the first question, Radhika has scored 20 marks, and if she has given 12 correct answers, then we have to find out that how many incorrect answers she has given. Now she is scoring the 12 correct answer, so 3 into 12 will be 36, but she is getting 20 marks. So we have to find out that how many wrong answers she has attempted. So 20 minus 36, that is the minus 16. Now for every incorrect answer, the marks given were minus 2. So we will divide minus 16 by minus 2, that is the 8. So the 8 incorrect answers she had attempted. Coming at the question number 7, it is said that in an elevator, its descending rate is 6 meter per minute. It means it is coming down with the 6 meter per minute speed, and we have to find out that if it is start descending from 10 meter above ground, then how long, it means we have to take out the time it will take to reach the minus 350 meter. Now first of all we will take out the total distance. Now it is 10 meter above minus 350, that is 10 meter plus 350, it means total it has to travel 360 meters. Now its speed is 6 meter per minute. Now how much time it will take to come down 360 meters? So when we are calculating it, we will get 60 minutes. So 60 minutes means 1 hour. So it will take 1 hour to